Hello, my name is Heather Zajac. I am a fourth grade teacher at Inskip Elementary School and a personalized learning demonstration classroom teacher. I wanted to take some time to share with you the way that I plan with the Foursquare. So the first part of this is pre-planning. The Foursquare includes the voice, co-creation, social construction, and self-discovery aspects. I like the way that these reflective prompts kind of give you some questions to think about when you're planning. So for example, when I'm planning for voice, in what ways do I have students express their thoughts and opinions? In what ways do I create an environment where they feel safe sharing what they believe, what they know, respectfully disagreeing or agreeing with one another? When I'm thinking about planning for co-creation, I can ask myself, how am I providing choice for students and what they can pursue? How do they get the opportunity to work with me to create something in our classroom that they can use and that even our whole class can use? Also, what are some different ways that they have that they can show me that they've learned in different ways? When looking at social construction, one of the reflective prompts says, in what ways do you encourage students to seek others to help give their work more meaning? So how are they working in groups? How are they working together in order to build more understanding, a deeper understanding of what we're learning in class? And then for self-discovery, how are we providing students with the opportunity to reflect on their learning and how it affects who they're becoming as a learner? So what are ways that we allow students to dig deeper into themselves and to understand how they learn, the best ways that they do this in order for them to know how to learn better in the future? So I use this planning template, and the easiest places to start for me in order to include those those four things are in these three places: in assessment, success criteria, and the tasks that they do. So obviously our standards and our learning targets are given to us, so there's not really a lot of play there. You even could probably work with the product a little bit more, especially when you're having students decide maybe what they want to do. But for our purposes today, I'm just going to focus on these three because they're the easiest place to start. So as an example, let's say our learning target is we're learning to find the main idea of a text. That kind of goes across grade levels, so it's an easy place to start. One of our fourth grade texts is Eye of the Storm. So our product at the end is to be able to identify the main idea of that text at the Eye of the Storm. So one way that we can show voice and co-creation is to have students negotiate their assessment based on their preferences. So I just want you to tell me that, to be able to prove that you know the main idea of Eye of the Storm by the end. So you can do this in a written way. You can write it down. You can show it in a graphic organizer. You can tell me it. You can video yourself doing it, make a music video, maybe write a rap about it or a song, draw a picture, make a cartoon. These are ways that you can give kids some voice in doing their work. You're also co-creating with them because you're negotiating the assessment. So maybe you have to write, if they want to make a video, maybe together you make a rubric. Okay, your video is going to need to include these four things. And so you're able to co-create on that level while also giving students the voice to do it. So they have a say in their assessment. So that's a really easy place to start, and a place where you can be creative, which I know as a teacher is nice to be able to step outside our normal walls and have this opportunity for creativity. Another place is in the success criteria. So here my students choose the level that they think that they're on. This opens up a whole world of our Foursquare because they have voice. They get to think about and speak to where they believe that they are. They're co-creating it with you because I come up with the success criteria. Sometimes we even do it together. But then also they're able to have some self-discovery because they have to decide what level they're on and they have to back it up with an argument to me. Another piece of the co-creation comes in if they say, oh, I'm a level 4, I can do this. Well, okay, your iReady data or your last assessment shows that maybe you're on a 2 or a 3, so let's sit down together and think about where you should be. So in this case, students choose where they are in their understanding of the concept based on their previous assessments, data, conversations with the teacher, and self-efficacy, so where they feel confident that they are, where they think that they can learn more and get a deeper understanding. So if they choose a level 3 and realize, wow, this is really hard, I need to back myself up a step, you have a lot of self-discovery. If they choose a level 2 and they're like, this is really easy, I already know this, you have an opportunity as a teacher to step in and say, hey, this one seems to be really easy for you. Let's challenge ourselves to go up a step. And so you have some self-discovery and co-creation there too. They learn a lot about themselves and what they need to do in order to be successful. You will definitely have the kids try to pick a level 1 every single time, or pick a level 3 because their friend did. And so that's like a really great opportunity as a teacher to be able to step in and say, okay, well, this learning is for you. Let's co-create together where you should be. And this is why it's important. At the end, I'll show you the document that I use to put up there. It's just the Marzano learning levels for the success criteria. So it's a pretty easy way to implement quickly into your classroom. The last place is in the tasks. And I feel like here you have a lot of ability to be creative. Normally I would put each task in a different category. So I might have 6 tasks. In here, just for the ease of this, I shoved some in. So there's 2 in each task group. But you have voice and social construction here in the tasks if you give your students a chance to group and work together. So in this case, students choose what order they want to complete tasks in, so they have a voice. So I want you to complete this frame routine for Tornado Tales and Eye of the Storm, so I can see that you're working on main idea. I also at some point want you to watch this tornado destruction Nearpod. There's a natural disasters brain pop. I want you to do some vocabulary with the Freyer models, and there's this really fun activity to create a tornado in a bottle. I don't care how you do them, but they're due on Friday. And so then you kind of get student voice. So everything gets done the same way you would, but they have a voice. And it doesn't always have to be this way. I know for Eye of the Storm, we complete the frame routine together the first 2 days so that they know what they're doing. So definitely leave room for that whole group instruction. And then maybe the voice comes on a small group time or another part of the week. It's pretty easy to schedule in there. Social construction comes in their groupings. So if you want to watch the tornado destruction Nearpod with somebody, you can have a better understanding of it. If you don't understand the frame routine, find a friend who does and who's maybe on a level 3 if you're on a 2. Dig deeper with them and they can help you. It also helps those kids that are level 3, level 4 be able to go back and teach the information and really get it into their brain. And so they have their own preference, so that gives them voice, and then they're working in groups to dig deeper into the understanding of that. So here it is all together. And here it is when we put it together with the 4 square. So in voice, we have negotiate assessment, decide order of tasks, flexible seating, choose your partners, co-creation. You kind of see some crossover in some of these groups. They're going to negotiate assessment. That's going to be voice and co-creation. Be able to discuss their learning level together based on their data, find additional resources. So if a kid is really loving this unit, I can say, oh, here's some books on Epic too that I want you to read about. If they're having a lot of trouble with it, okay, let's come back, let's work together, let's find some additional resources that are going to help you understand main idea. Social construction, they choose their partners. I've had them create anchor charts with their small group for the main idea. So you're kind of working on it, building it together. Your group is in charge of presenting this information to the class. What do you think is the most important in order for the class to understand this material? And then whole group Kagan structure. So even anything that you're doing with those peer-to-peer groups, think, pair, share, anything like that. And then in self-discovery, understanding the learning level and why, being able to move up and down it. We think about it as a ladder in class. So our goal is to get up to a level 3. Your standard and learning target is always going to be your level 3. So that's where we want our kids. For math, the instructional focus documents are online. So you can go find those on tn.gov, and you can also get there through the knoxschools.org website. And then they have the levels 1 through 4 all done out for you. So that makes that a lot easier. And then also reflecting on new learning for next time. So we do some reflection sheets at the end of this. Okay, you said that you were on a level 3. Where are you next time? Are you going to have to bump back? Are you still on a level 3? You're still working through it, or do you think you're ready for a level 4? And what worked best for you? Did the Nearpod work best? Did writing it down work best? Did making a video work to help understand? Do you like working by yourself or with partners? So really reflecting on the whole process of that benefits the kids. So I include both of these documents in my planning. I copy them back, front and back. And so that I can just always go back to look at that 4 square, like I'm including everything. This gives me an opportunity to, if I plan a lesson and I don't have any co-creation, okay, how can I fit it in? So it just kind of gives me the reflection and the awareness to make sure I've got all of this in here. And of course, every lesson isn't going to have all of these pieces. So sometimes it's okay. A whole group lesson at the beginning of learning something might not have a self-discovery piece until you get to the end. So that's fine. But this just gives me kind of an outline for making sure that in the whole part by the end, we're going to have touched on all 4 of these pieces. And then, like I said, I use this one. I think it came from Teachers Pay Teachers, but it's a Marzano learning scale. And I put this up on my flip chart, and I've also printed them and laminated them so I can wipe them off. And we have them for every subject hanging on the wall. So the kids get a sticky note, they put their name on the back and their number on the front. I collect their sticky notes, and then I pull them back into small groups based on their sticky notes. So they're also creating flexible small groups, which gives you some social construction as well, because for this lesson, I might pull back all my 2s, and it might be a different kid than later in the day in math. When I pull back all my 2s, it's going to be different kids who maybe understand different, who are on different levels in different subjects. So this also gives me the opportunity to say, oh, Sarah's a 2. I think Sarah's maybe a 3. Let's try to challenge her. Let's give her some more resources. And so this kind of helps me guide their self-discovery as well. So that's the way that I do it. If you have any other questions, feel free to reach out. It's a work in progress, and it's just adding a little bit at a time. So even just picking out voice, and in each lesson thinking, I'm going to start with voice today. What's a way that I can just do flexible seating today? Or what's a way that I can just let my kids vote on one thing that we do today in the classroom? Is a much easier way to start than just looking at the whole 4 square and getting overwhelmed. So that would be my suggestion for that. But feel free to email me if you have any other questions or ideas too. I love ideas, and I hope that you found this helpful.